channel, changing lives.
A very good evening to you once again, my lovely viewers. We are so grateful that every day God gives us new strength to come and speak with you, to come and interact with you, to come and have wonderful discussions with you. Today is another wonderful Thursday, and my name is Mrs. Betty Adam, as you know already. Today we are going to have discussions for the single. It looks as if family life have been talking about marriage. Today we want to also zoom in into the singles. And so we want to discuss about the 21st century single, the opportunities and the struggle. And you'll be surprised, I have 3 wonderful singles here with me. And I don't know, I will introduce you, don't worry. I have Kingsley Appiah. Kingsley Appiah is a teacher by profession. And then I have Edith Entry Ejakwa, who is a student at University of Georgia. And then Dr. Kobina Na Ahia. Doctor is an animal doctor. I call it animal doctor. He will explain it to us. Today we are going to have those discussions with you, and I hope that all my single women and men out there will zoom into it, and then we'll have interaction. A very wonderful interaction. We want to know what are the struggles of the singles, what are the opportunities available for them. But before I was coming, I asked somebody that, what do you think a single is? And you know the answer the person gave me. The person said a single is one person living in a single room. That is a single. And so I asked her, so what about, I said, so long as the person lives in a single room, the person is single. But if the person moves to a chamber and a hall or a double room, the person ceases to be a single. Why? Because he's saying that definitely one day the legs will be 4. There will be a night where the legs will be 4, so the person will not be considered as a single. We want to hear from the version of my speakers over here, my guests, what they also think about a single. Gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you.
How are you?
We are doing well, by grace.
Edith, welcome to Ghana.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm also fine. How is Georgia?
Georgia is fine. It's hot. We are in the summer almost, so it's a little bit hot now.
It's hot now.
Yeah, in summer.
Wow. Yes. Aha, that is where if you are not careful, you will not sleep all over, eh?
Yeah.
Wow. It's a wonderful experience. Anyway, tell us a little about Georgia. I want to have a feel of Georgia.
Georgia is a busy place. I'll say Georgia is a big place, and it's more like they call it the Atlanta. It's the capital city of Georgia, and it's like the Los Angeles in the east of America, kind of. That's how we say it. So Georgia has a bipolar kind of weather. It's cold in the winter, but we don't experience much snow. And then it's very hot during the summer. So it's more like we are in between, and we have most of the weather is like that of Ghana. So yeah, Georgia is a nice place. It's busy, it's friendly. Yeah, that's what I can say. Yeah.
How long were you in Ghana before you left Georgia?
I've been in Ghana for almost all of my life. And then I moved to Georgia in 2015. Okay. So I've been here for almost 6 years. Yeah.
Wow. Are there plenty men in Georgia?
There are plenty. There are plenty men in Georgia. And there are plenty women too.
Have you been meeting some of them?
Yeah, quite a number of them. Yeah.
So you smile to them a lot, eh?
Naturally a smiley kind of person, so yeah, I smile. everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Edith. Let me come to the studio and meet the gentleman over here. Yes, you are saying you are animal doctor. I am calling you animal doctor.
Okay.
And what does it mean when we say you are animal doctor or you are not?
Oh, I am. Okay, so I'm a doctor of veterinary medicine.
Okay.
We study how to treat animals, just as medical doctors treat human beings. Yeah, and our scope is a bit wide because we study all animals,
including human beings.
A little bit because we do comparative medicine.
Okay.
Yeah, so we kind of start from the higher organism, that's the human being, and then we break it down to the lowest. So we take care of all animals.
All animals. Yeah. And you study all human beings,
all
including male and female.
Exactly. Exactly.
All human beings, all animals. Exactly. Kingsley. Kingsley, you also study students, is that right?
Yes, we educate students.
You educate students?
Yes.
Okay, so how was today your classroom?
Well, it was great. We had a workshop.
Okay.
Yes, so school resumed about next week. So as educators or teachers, we met today to refresh our minds. And it happened that I had a chance to present on a wonderful topic about the effect of a teacher's posture and attitude on the student.
Wow, so you made presentation on that.
Yeah.
So today you are going to turn it to be the attitude of a single man towards a single man. Anyway, so just as I said, I told you when I was coming, I asked somebody to just tell me what it means by being a single, okay? And he said a single is a single person, just one person who lives in a single room. How far do you agree with this? Doctor.
Okay, I think that's a very joking or narrow idea of who a single is. I mean, basically when we mention single, what comes to mind is somebody who is not married. Okay. But we can have other aspects of it. We say that a person who is not married because when we are filling our forms, we just have married and single. We don't have the other types, like dating, those. But sometimes we have divorce and all that. So all these people can be classified under. I think as we go into the discussion, we will take them one after the other.
So all these people like who?
So people who are unmarried but they have romantic relations.
So will you consider them as also single?
Not in the strict sense, because as religiously or traditionally and even legally, you cannot in any way call yourself as married people, right? So I will still call them single. However, because of the things they do, which make them appear to be married, classifying them under the bracket of singleness or singlehood is a difficult one.
But they are not married. So such people, how would they fill the forms we are talking about? Would they feel it like, I'm single, but in the night I'm double? No. Or they just write single?
They just write single.
Single.
Yes, because that in the practical sense, yeah, that is all you have to. Okay. Because you know, in all intent and purposes, that you are not married. Okay. There's no way you can confidently say that you are married.
You are married, yeah.
You can even be there, what you are doing, you are hiding it because you know that it's not acceptable socially, right? So there's no way I can go over and say that although we are not legally or religiously married, but you do these things, and so we should classify you as a married person. It's not.
Let me go to Edith and ask her version. Edith,
I am here.
You are listening to your big brother saying, and they are saying that a single person is someone who is single. Or they are agreeing to the definition I brought, the one the person gave to me. If you are single and you are living in just one single room and your legs are single, you see, you have only 2 legs in the night, it means that you are single. Do you agree to this?
To an extent, yes, but I'm coming from those points. a single person is someone who is like single, fine. But I can also say that a single person is someone who is not in a committed relationship. So someone who is in a relationship is not single. Because when someone approaches you to take you out, the person asks whether you are single or not. And if you have someone, although you are not married, you are not single, you are not available for that person to date you. But if you have someone, you can't say you are single, if that makes sense. So I would say someone who is not married and not in a committed relationship, that person is single.
Very good. So we now have this idea. Even though in a legal sense, when you are filling forms, you determine that you are single. But when it comes to actual singleness, from what she is saying, you cannot tell yourself you are single.
Oh yeah. Because yeah, practically. So at times the people throw the question at you, are you single? And so if you are committed to somebody,
you can't say. Meanwhile, you are not married.
Yeah.
So how do you classify yourself?
So
I'm in between.
Yeah. So you are engaged to somebody. Maybe you are courting or you are dating. So yeah, you say.
So when somebody is dating or courting to you, you don't want to call the person as a single person.
I want to call the person a single person in the legal traditional sense, but in our current world, 21st century, it's not in that strict sense, right? So at least if you are courting, at least you are engaged to some extent, because there's no any other woman or a man who can come your way and have you out, right? Because now you're committed to somebody.
Before we go to our main discussion, let me put this question to all of you. So if a lady, you see a lady and you are really interested in the person and you want to marry the person, okay? And then you approach the person said, oh, okay, I'm not really single, but I'm going out with somebody, but I'm available. How will you take it? Will you go ahead?
I think.
I hope you are getting.
Oh yeah, I get it.
I think the person should be able to explain what she meant by not really. Because if you have plans in marrying somebody and you are serious about that and you are working on that, then you cannot say that you are single or you are engaged, but it's not really. So if the person is able to explain that clearly, then you can know your stance. But I think it will be double standards if you try to engage two people when you are courting.
So when it comes to you, what will you do?
I think I'll not take such a person seriously.
So you not even proceed?
I think until the person explains what she meant by the statement, I will not proceed.
Kingsley?
Oh yeah, we are a bit hesitant because it means that the person can do the same thing to me.
Exactly.
Right. So until I wed you or with a ring or something, it means that then you are in between, right? So it means you are likely to go out with other people. So such a person cannot be a trusted, like somebody you are committed to in terms of wanting to marry.
Maybe Edith will give me a different Edith! Sweetheart!
I think this time I agree with
will you go
the
ahead
guys.
or you won't?
I agree with the guys. If I were to be a guy and I see a lady I want and I approach her and she tells me, oh, I'm single, but I'm not really single, I'll put myself in the other guy's shoe, and I wouldn't want to be treated that way. So,
but what about if the person happens to be a man who is saying this to you? What will be your action?
That he is single, but not really single.
Not really
no.
Single.
No, I can't do that. No.
Why?
You are either mine or not. Yeah.
Why? Why?
I can't share. Yeah.
You can share. Okay, so this brings us to our discussion today. You know, so we are having a whole lot of headaches going on. People are uncertain about whether they are single or they are double or they are rare. So we want to find out what has been some of the struggles of singles of late. You see, in this modern world where you can have about 2 or 3 one person dating about 2 or 3 people, but still they consider themselves single. You used to have a lot of proposals coming on. what have been the struggle of singles? Let's pick it from, first, let's pick it from the relationship point of view. From your own experience and what you've been hearing about, what has been the real struggles of singles? Yes.
So in the case of your scenario where one person is engaged with so many people, right, or is committed to a lot of people, they have the struggle of managing all these people.
Okay.
Right. Because if you're engaged to me and other person, you wouldn't want me to know. So you have to be strategic and trying to cover up certain things, right? So that one is a challenge. We have people who are in such situations because they are still exploring, and like they don't know which person, right, is the potential and capable individual to take care of them should they marry. So as they are exploring, they wouldn't want them to know, because we have discussed before this, if I get to know that I'm sharing or there's another person, then you're not secure, you're not safe, right? Okay. So people are trying all means to strategically protect their multiple relations they're having, right? So that it's more of a polyandry if it's a woman, so you engage so many men, or if it's a man, so kind of polygamous commitment or relation. So that is how it is, and it's a struggle. If you don't take care and you are caught, then maybe that person, it was a person you're looking at that it's possible that you may get married, and now
why do you think really single people go through that situation?
Okay, so depending on, I want to pick it from this point of view that singleness in its strict sense, as in single, not engaged with anyone, probably you are not ready, or you are looking at developing yourself first, the challenges that it comes with.
Very good.
In fact, the pressure of society is one of the greatest challenges for those people. Looking at all
for we or those people?
No, I mean.
Okay,
so
yes. You are
okay, so that's the pressure for single or young people. Yes, and the pressure, it's so much that you come to the university and everything is about, getting attached to somebody. And so when you are not ready, people start asking you. We have a term on the campus, those who go for 4 years, they'll be like, 4-0. Means you were not able to. You understand? We have
capture somebody.
Yeah. Wow. So those of us 6 years, 6-0. So you've been here for 6 years. You have not been able to, So all this pressure, it pressures people to get into relationships, and I think it's a major challenge. If we should learn how to deal with the pressure, the rush with which we enter some of the relationships would come down. I think that's a major challenge for young people, especially those who are not ready and want to pass through the correct, let me say, procedures and all that. This is the challenge they face. Like, even taking it from the university, even if you are in the house, you will see those who are married or adults asking you are old, get married, get attached. Who is this? Who is that? I mean, your parents can even call you. So now what's happening? So it's one of the pressures, and I think it's a greater challenge for singles.
But do you think society have to put that pressure? Do we have positive and negative side of this pressure?
Yes, well, I would say that there are more negatives than positives. I'm saying this because I know people who have been pressured so much and they are even depressed. Because when we look at ladies, for instance, in our culture, ladies hardly approach somebody. And so as they are given so much pressure, they begin to feel bad about themselves. Is there something wrong with me? Why is it that people are not coming? And all this, and we have serious prayer points on these issues. Yeah. And even when it comes to men, probably they are not ready, but because of the pressure, they will rush to do something they will not want to do. The only positive thing I would say about it, probably it puts people on their toes to be responsible, to work hard to achieve certain things. But I think the pressure is too much, and it's not coming down. But
it's not coming down. It's going up.
Yes. So I think young people should be able to learn how to deal with such pressures.
What pressure did you get in terms of relationship? Did you experience any of that?
Oh, exactly. I have some family friends. I visited them after school. I mean, fresh graduate. I visited them, and at dawn, after devotion, said, "Oh, so now you are done with school. Who are you bringing home? You have to come and show us somebody." I'm like, "Oh, but we just completed school." And some way, somehow, it's part of the pressures.
Okay.
It's at the back of your mind. You have to. Yeah. But for all you know, not everybody is born to even marry in the first place. Yeah, so I think there's so much pressure in society wherever singles, I mean those who are in the strict singles, where they find themselves, there's a lot of pressure. Do this, do that. Why are you not like this? Everybody is doing. I think that pressure is something that you have to look at.
Oh yeah, I remember my dad asked, "So when are you married? When are you getting married?" I said, "Oh no, but I have to get money. I have to get a good, well-paid job or a good job to be able to cater for myself and even plan towards that." So yes, fundamentally, I have to be ready.
You have to be rich.
You have to be ready.
Ready.
Yes, but the money is important, especially in our world today. That
before we come to the money, let me ask you, how do you feel towards those who gives you pressure?
I think they are not considerate and not sensitive, although they may have a good intention, but they should be very practical and empathize with you. They should put yourself in your shoe that if you're a fresh graduate, and looking at Ghana, for instance, getting a job is even a whole thing, right? So if you're adding up, already there are pressures all over in terms of getting employment and getting accommodation, because it's expensive. You need to get a single room, self-contained or something. Yeah, so it's a huge thing on its own. And so adding up marriage issues complexify the whole situation, and it is mind-boggling. So you are not able even to focus, right? So I think that such persons have to reconsider their thought. Although it's good, however, if the person, I think, if somebody wants to marry or want you, it shouldn't be much more important to you than the person who in question. If I want to,
but the person do care. He cares about you so much. So are you telling me that you have some funny feeling towards people who do that?
Yeah, because
you shy from them, that you shun them?
No, what I say is that no, but you think that because it's about my well-being. So are you saying that I am not mature enough to think about it as an important thing to pursue than you will say or tell me to do? Yeah, because I think I'm matured. So if I want to marry or have a family, you shouldn't tell me. Right? So if you are pressuring me, it's like you are dictating, you want to dictate to me or what? At times it doesn't come as an advice, so it's like they want to do it. You are just telling me that go and do this.
Do you know why I'm quiet? Because I was embarrassed by a lady.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we do crack jokes, and I was saying, "Hey, Charlie, the wedding Ghana yacho." And then, please, some jokes are expensive.
Oh, okay.
And that was the second. And that was the end. You can see, so at times we put pressure on you.
Exactly.
Let me ask Edith. Edith, how is it like at your end? And being a lady when you are under such pressure, how is it like?
Well, it's not different here, and the pressure is also here. As a lady, well, you feel it, you kind of feel it. It's because everybody expects you that at a certain age you should be married, and then you are not married and all eyes are on you. You feel the pressure, like the guy said, you feel it. But sometimes those who come to pressure you, in a sense, they are coming from a point of I would say encouragement, but sometimes it becomes too much. So I will say that those who come forward to encourage us to get married or to get attached, they should do it they should do it not periodically, but there should be, how do I put it? It shouldn't be too much. Like every time they see you, it's all about marriage. And even if they ask you, how are you? The next question is, when are you getting married, or when are you bringing somebody home? I believe that it should be, you should empathize with the person, as the guys Kingsley and the doctor said, and then you should put yourself in their shoes, in single people's shoes, and encourage them that life is not a rush, and it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. Such encouragement gives you a kind of puts you on your toes, but also makes you realize that you're not being pressured to do something that you're not ready to do at this moment.
Wow, wow. So the pressure.
Yeah,
Okay, so now
challenge.
we've been able to talk about the relationship, how people are pressuring you. But don't you think they in a way they are really helping you?
Well,
so how will you feel if nobody in your entire till you get married, nobody asked you whether you are bringing somebody or not? How will you feel?
Well,
or you are comfortable with that?
Well, it depends. So if I work for, let's say, about 10 years and I'm well-to-do, right? Probably I have my own apartment.
Why are you stressing on the well-to-do? You have to tell me why.
Marriage does not happen in a vacuum.
Is that also a struggle of the single?
Yeah, because
yes, to succeed.
You have to. You are struggling to survive yourself.
Exactly.
Your subsistence is a difficulty. You are barely surviving, and you want to go and add up. It is a whole mess. It will be a whole mess. I will not want to come and beg for money or for help.
From your dad or mom.
Yeah, that maybe my kid is going to school, my wife is sick, she was admitted. No, there should be an insurance policy or something. So I want a well-planned family arrangements, not that go and marry, it's time. So just go and marry. I think so those who pressure, they should look at, so how are things going?
Exactly.
Like, yes.
Finance, are you prepared?
Like,
all those things.
You should talk about those things rather than when I getting married. Overlooking all the important things that make marriage very happy, happy something that is worthwhile to pursue.
No, because for me, I'm of the view that being single, finance shouldn't be a burden. So how is it like a struggle to single people when it comes to financial aspects?
Okay, so what I think is this, before you get married, at least you should have a job.
Okay.
Even in the Bible, those who, the first marriage, there was a job, there was a home.
Okay.
They have Eden.
Yes.
Yes.
Well prepared for
yes,
them, from their father.
Exactly. And even,
so are you saying that fathers should prepare?
That is not what I'm saying. Adam, if they can, but Adam was given a job to tend the garden and all that. So I think before we ask people to get married and all, we should think about, do they have a job? Can they take care of the family? Because I know people who have been pressured and now
they are
not happy because they don't have what it takes to take care of that family they are building. And so I think the pressures must come down a bit, especially when we realize that the people we are giving the pressure are not having a job.
Okay.
Or they are not having the necessary ingredients that will make them yes, because they are going to struggle, and the pressure, even their Christian life will be affected because they are thinking about the kids, they are thinking about the wife, they don't have this, they don't have that. Maybe in Accra we may not be seeing some of these things, but elsewhere it's bad. So
apart from this side, do we have other struggles that singles are going
Loneliness.
through?
Okay.
So okay, how?
At times you want companionship, right? So that if you are, let's say you are working in Accra and you are alone, by virtue of the work you are alone, you have left your parents or your family. At times you feel very lonely, like you don't have anybody, unless maybe you call somebody to engage, but at least the physical interaction also helps, right?
Okay.
So at times in the night, do you read the ceiling? Oh, let's be practical.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
So the loneliness aspect, so the companionship aspect, and you have caught the coitus aspect, that is your sexual desires. How do you satisfy it?
Okay.
Because it's a reality we cannot run away from. Okay. Right, at your age, definitely you have that such ages to want to have that affair. How do you do that? So it's a huge challenge.
But how do you manage it? Let's talk. We are single. Let's talk. Because, you know, what you are going through is not you alone.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me give you a scenario. I used to have two single men. Okay. Back at my village, and I know they are hearing me, so I'm proud to talk about it.
Okay.
These are people who we have become so close. For me, in my mind, I was seeing them as brothers. Until we all got married, then they said, "Hey, Betty, at times when we come there, we sing hymns, it's not working. We will pray, we will not working, we will do this." So all that we have to do is to tell we are going.
Oh. They are on heat.
They have to.
Yes, because they have to.
The hymns are not working. For me, I will be so absorbed in the hymns and singing and the Bible reading. Not knowing that that is the coping strategy they are using. So when they feel that things are not working, then they will tell, "It's time, let's go."
But I thought that person was satisfied. You accept that thing.
You just came and you are leaving. I said, no, it's time. We will come next time. For 2 weeks, they will not be there. I said, what are these people doing? So until we got married, we all got married. One day, one of the guys told me, "Hey, at times we can go to the church house. Pray, it's not working. Sing hymns, it's not working." So I'm just asking, how do you manage it? Is there a mechanism, a way? Because some singles are also going through and they are hearing it. How do we manage that aspect of life?
All right, so I'll start with the loneliness you mentioned. And my point of view is that loneliness in itself, it's a state of mind that you cannot run away from even if you are married. You can be in a family and still be lonely. You can be with friends and still be lonely. And I think Satan has capitalized on that human nature to make people, lead people into decisions that they will not have. Because if you succumb to the loneliness, I think it can lead to you being overcome by that desire that comes later. That is the sexual urge. And so, even in the Bible, we have some people who were very lonely, but it was just a state of mind. They were not really alone. Like Elijah, he was suicidal. He said, "I'm the only prophet left." But he wasn't really alone. Yes, he wasn't alone. To the extent that Christ himself felt alone. So that on the cross he said, "Why have you forsaken me?" His Father, because he was with the Father always. And so anytime the loneliness aspect comes, it will come, but we must overcome it with God's word, because he said, "You are not alone." Exactly. No, wait. Because
well, there are times that
let's
practically speaking,
get ready, we are coming.
The God word will not fill the vacuum.
It won't fill the vacuum at all.
Because there are times you want to just have that kind of thing interact. So I think that if you have that mind, just it's a state of mind. So you have to know that it's a temporary
it's something that you must. So
with time you get over it. So manage it in the interim, such that as you plan towards getting married, early that time will come. I think that will help you. And also, if you don't have to be so much reclusive or isolated.
Exactly.
And if yourself is in church, you go for occasion and outing. At times, go for dinners. You can get dates. All these things, they help. Right? They help you to cure that sense of loneliness that you actually is killing you, right? So expose yourself. At times you can get colleagues, you go out, you can book the appointment, out an appointment with people, right? You're just going to maybe a restaurant to eat or going to party or like it's good rather than just keeping it to yourself. You go to work,
You can't do
come
that.
back to the house. It is that would be a huge thing
Yeah,
to manage.
but the point I was arriving at is that you're lonely.
You will arrive at that point.
Okay.
You will come back.
Okay.
Let me get to Judith, then we'll go for a quick break. When we come, because it's a major challenge when it comes to singleness. So, Edith. Yeah, so the men are talking about loneliness as one of the struggles that singles go through. How far do you agree? And how do you manage it?
Well, I totally agree because that loneliness, it's said that you can have someone to talk to about certain things, but you have nobody to tell everything to except God. So for me to manage that loneliness, I talk to God a lot. When I have that sense of loneliness, I talk to God. I talk to my mother. I talk to my friends. So doing that, it kind of fills that void to an extent. So that's how I manage my loneliness in my singlehood. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, wow. So my dear lovely viewer, we just want to go for a quick break and come back and let's see, we'll come and hear what doctor wants to talk about, because loneliness per se it's a disease on its own. If not well managed as a single person, in fact, where it will lead to will be different. So let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll just come and see how we can manage the loneliness. We'll be right back.
Whatever the occasion, with ATL, you can never be out of style. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
The Men's Ministry of the Seventh-day Adventist Church presents Hope in This Hopeless World. Are you ready to hear the voice of God and allow Him to change your life? 24th to 31st July 2021. Live only on Hope Channel. 5 a.m. every morning with the servant of God, Pastor Prince Ubed Sewell.
Welcome to Taste Jesus. He is sweet.
With more than 50 billion text messages daily and being bombarded with social media coupled with daily stress, how can we hear God in the midst of all of these? Tune in and you will be blessed. 24th to 31st July 2021. Live only on Hope Channel. 5 a.m. every morning. Maranatha, Jesus is coming again.
You are welcome back, my dear lovely viewer and my dear singer who is listening to us. I'm so glad that you joined. We are on the topic, the single, the 21st century single, the struggle and the opportunities. And we have said a lot. We have spoken about relationship, we have spoken about loneliness, and we're even trying to define single, who a single person is. And before we were going, we're just talking about how to manage the lonely aspect of the singleness. And with me here is Doctor of
Veterinary medicine.
No, Doctor of Animals. Okay, so I have Dr. Kwabena here, and then Kingsley Appiah, and Madam Edith Entry, all joining us to see how best we can help our 21st century singles. myself is Mrs. Betty Adom. My outfit was given to me, the fabric was given to me by ATL. And so if you want any fabric for your wedding, your outdooring, your usual, your casual dresses and other things, you can consult ATL. They have very, very nice fabric. And so we'll go through the discussion. You see, we just want to see how we can cope, because we need to have coping mechanism. The loneliness is really great. If you are not careful, you will fall sick. I have seen ladies who have fallen victims to the opposite sex because they couldn't manage the loneliness well. And so let's talk about some of the coping mechanisms. Definitely you feel lonely. Yeah. Even we married people at times feel lonely. You'll be in the room with your spouse, but you are lonely. So if you are not able to manage it well whilst you are single, you come to the marriage, and then when it happens, you have to do what you were doing again. But if you're able to manage, so how do you use your I want you to personalize it. Use your personal experience. How do you manage your loneliness?
Okay. So I was arriving at the point that the lonely times must be with God.
With God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I remember at times when in school we had issues with Sabbath exams. I think Adventists who are watching will know that. And when they have the paper in the afternoon, I have my friends who are writing exams, my colleagues. Number one, I'll not get them to talk to. I'll not get them to discuss the paper with after. And I know that they are writing exams. There's a state of loneliness.
Okay.
Yes, at that point in time, you need to interact with your friends, how the paper was, everything. And so I would just go to the university gardens. It's a lonely place. But some way, somehow, I find comfort there.
Okay.
Yes. So how is it that it's a lonely place, but I still find comfort there? And that's why I'm saying that spending the lonely times with God really, really helps. And it gives more comfort. Calling friends is very important. Visiting friends is very important. But putting God in that lonely times, I think, solves a lot of problems. Because Christ took the most lonely times for us. Yes, the time that he needed all the human companions, they just left.
They were somewhere.
Even those who would go and pray with him, they left, all of them. And on the cross, he even felt that his Father has left.
Okay.
So that we won't be lonely. So I think that the loneliness it's not something that will not come. But when it comes, we must face it squarely.
Okay.
Yeah, calling others, reading, doing other things, and also spending it with God, I think, will really help.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me come to this point. What makes the 21st century singleness more complicated? What makes it more complicated?
I think what makes it more complicated is the fact that the cost of living is so high.
Okay.
And so though you have the thought of getting married in the shortest possible time, but it can be prolonged. Right, and so you'll be in that state for a long time because accommodation is expensive and you may not have a paid job, so you're not able to plan your life as you want things to go for you. So this complexifies the whole situation.
Wow.
And so it's a huge challenge that the cost of living is so high and almost everything has a financial implication. And so as a single person who wants to get out of that situation or state during the shortest possible time, such a thing is prolonged because of the fact that you may not be financially endowed to take up such a responsibility as a married person.
Edith, what makes it more complicated at this time?
I think and I believe it's social media influence to an extent. Okay. So you see people, their social media updates, their statuses, they are paired up. They have their boo with them, taking pictures, and you ask God, when is yours coming? So in today's modern singlehood, it's complicated because of social media influence, and that affects your mental stability because we are talking about loneliness and everything. It affects you mentally. It's as if you are left out of the marriage or the dating game. So I would say social media has played a role in the complication.
Oh, okay.
Singlehood.
Yeah, I was about to talk about the media aspect of it, but in a different sense, as in what the movies and the, let me say the movies portray the marriage and relationship to be like. Sometimes it's a myth. What they show people as if it's what solves all the problems they have. And it's a myth. So people try to attain that. And so that kind of whets the appetite of a lot of people. And they forget about the challenges it comes with. So people rush, people look at the expectations, they look at things that they show on the movies, some of the telenovelas or whatever they call it, I don't know, but what they show there, it's not exactly what happens. And there are cultural differences as well. So I think it's part of the complications, what they see it to be. And that is why they, everybody is rushing to have that.
So amidst all these challenges, in fact, time will not let us talk more because I know there are a lot of challenges that singles are going through. When you live with even people who are married, when you find yourself with people who are married, the fact that you always even see them moving together and you always alone is also even another challenge.
Exactly.
That you yourself need to psych yourself. But amidst all these, do you have opportunities?
Oh yeah, it's time for you to be able to plan your life very well.
Yes.
Because you have the benefit of the misfortune of other couples or people who are married before you, right? So what are the things that they didn't get them well? And how can you plan to better them, right? Such that if they couldn't plan in terms of how to take proper care of their children, and so now their children are not in good schools, so they're not able to pay their fees, it's an advantage for you to be able to plan towards that, so that you will not be overly focused on just the marriage, but planning for your children as well. As when they come, they will not struggle as you did, right? So it is an opportunity for you to look around, to draw lessons from the shortfalls of married couples, their challenges, and how you can work around them.
Yeah, I think that that time when it's about you and you alone, it's a time you can achieve a lot of things. It's a time you can set goals and achieve them. But there are great scientists who were alone, and they were able to do a lot of things. And I've read an article that says that after marriage, the level at which they think about inventions and other things came down. So it is a time you can think and do something. Even when it comes to serving God, because Paul says that you can do a lot when you are single. So I think there are more opportunities, developing yourself, helping others, spreading the word. There are a whole lot of things you can set for yourself and achieve whilst you are still single.
Of late, you've seen singles not engaging themselves in church activities. But it was at first, for me, what really helped me a lot was my involvement in church activities. Crusade, I am there. Camp meetings. Now you can't find a youth at the camp meeting. Crusade, they won't come. Wednesday prayers, nothing. Even Sabbath, they just come, show and go. What do you think is causing all this?
If you are
Edith is there. Edith, just answer me before we wrap up. Why?
Well, I think it's all about the society perception of a single person. The pressure is coming from all angles. So they'll avoid that. To avoid that, they will not even make themselves available for anybody to tell them that it's time to get married or it's time to have someone in your life in that sense. So they won't make themselves available. So that is it. Yeah, that's basically it. They don't want to be confronted with the issue of singleness. Yeah.
But you think it's a very good behavior?
It's not. That's not a healthy way of coping with this stage of your life. You need to be out there doing as much as you can. There's a lot to accomplish when you are single. So as my brothers just said, there's a lot of soul searching that goes on, and you're able to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. So making yourself available to that extent to enable you identify those strengths and weaknesses. So yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to avoid social gatherings.
Wow, 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 wow. Yes, coming to you, you are living with that in University of Ghana. What were some of the things that you were seeing among the singles that you think that you use it as an advice to them at this time?
Okay, so the relationship is a big thing. Almost everybody is engaged, and they tend to tease at you, they call you funny and all that. And so you are tempted to engage in romantic relations or affairs, although you know that is wrong.
Okay.
So as a Christian who is on campus, or somebody who is not a Christian, doing those things can derail your focus or your goal, right? Because commitment to your books is a whole thing. So engaging in this relationship takes a lot of time from you. And so you may not even secure a good class, right? And if you have a high ambition of becoming an academic or having a PhD, if you don't have a good foundation for first degree, how do you build on that?
Yes.
So it's an opportunity for you to commit to your books, study well, prepare higher, so that after school, if you want to go higher for a second degree, you can go. And then afterwards, you can marry. But if you started at the beginning and everything is poor, then you cannot build on a poor foundation.
Wow, wow.
Okay.
Let me read some reactions on the Facebook. We have Abna Boatsma, who is watching us, and then Goswe Amen. He said, I'm watching from Medina. Goswe, how are you? Yes, and then we have Grace Asari saying nice program. So we have these reactions from Facebook. And I believe that you are also learning a lot that at least as a single, these 21st century singles will be able to just get hold of it. Because, you know, no matter what, it's a reality. Yes. You can't run away from it. Yes. And you cannot also say that because there is pressure all over here and there, people are you don't want to see the people, you want to avoid them. No, you can't live like that. Because if you don't, let me just give a little advice before we move. Okay. If you are not able to cope very well during your single period, it will be difficult to cope in marriage. Because the behavior you are running away from, remember, you will go and face it when you marry. Exactly. What about when you marry and your husband travels? The same people will tell, hey, hey, that word alone. And so pressure from family, pressure, you have to absorb them. We are not saying it's good, but you have to absorb them and find yourself coping mechanism. Just as you were saying, you need to involve yourself in so many activities. You need to pursue your education. Exactly. There are people, I can tell you, they are doing their masters at the same time, learning about 3 trades. Apart from that, they are having businesses that they are doing. Exactly. Because when you get married, your husband will be looking for you. Your children are there. Family is there. Now you have about 4 families to manage. Your own, your father's own, your mother's own, your father's own, your husband's mother's family, and your husband's father's family. So the man too, the same thing. So it's not that place that is where you are coming to develop coping strategy. You have to develop it while single. Also, before we move, I just want you to give your last word to your single ladies and men who are watching you. What are you telling them? The opportunities and the struggles of the 21st century single. Okay.
So I think that the period of that singleness must not be wasted away. Okay. Must not be wasted away on anticipation and castle building. Yes. You must set some goals to achieve it. You must develop yourself for the other person, because if you don't have that self-sufficiency, then you think that it is getting attached to somebody that is going to make you a better person, then I think it's not right.
Wow. Yeah. Your short message, I think our time is almost up.
It's a time to develop yourself in terms of career, how to manage your home, as a family person. So it's a time to be looking at all these things, to learn them, so that when the time comes, you can be able to send in all those skills you have acquired during your singlehood.
Wow, wow. Edith from Georgia. Wow, tell your viewers something before you leave.
Okay, so to all my single people out there, I just want to leave us with this quote that remember that being single is just a description and it's not a statement of our worth. So just be content, enjoy every stage and every season of your life.
Wow. And you know, singleness is an enjoyable moment. You know that a period where you can enjoy yourself so much. Free. You can decide to sleep anytime you want and wake up anytime you want, provided you catch up with your job opportunities. And so this is where we drop the curtains for today's discussion on 21st century ladies or 21st century single. The opportunities and the struggle. My name has always been Mrs. Betty Adum, I'm with Dr. Kobnana and then Kingsley, my friend, and then Madam Edith Entry joining us from Georgia. I want to say a very big thank you for making it to today's program, and may God bless you and keep you as you wait in your joyful single, Kingsley. Yes, singlehood should be joyful. Until then, my dear lovely viewer, my outfit, my costume was given to me by ATL, and I want to say that get in touch with ATL. They have so many fabrics, different ones for different occasions. Until we will be able to get in touch next week. Until next week, when we get in touch, I want you to stay safe and let the will of God be done in your life as you wait closely for the coming of Christ. Be a wonderful single and enjoy your singlehood.
A faithful single.
Thank you.
Hallelujah, Christ is King. Hallelujah, Christ is King. We have His hope that burns within our heart. Hope in the coming of the Lord.
Hope Channel, changing lives.
A very good evening to you, my cherished viewers and listeners. It is another